Hallo und willkommen zurück zu Shadowrun Hong Kong und wir sind jetzt hier soweit, dass wir gleich reinkommen, denke ich. Gucken wir hier noch gerade rein. A dark-skinned man in an expensive suit stands at the far end of the room. A cord tethers his starter jack to a portable hotel wall. His eyes are glazed over, dead to the world. He's jacked into the hotel's media library, probably enjoying some slick, professionally produced Simpsons fantasy or something like that. She chuckles. He doesn't even know that I'm in the room. Might as well look around a little then, but be quick. Good, then you can get out of there undetected. Are you sure you want to be in there? What does? A cyberdeck sits on the table opposite Isabel. She rotates a PDA to give you a view. It's a custom job, pieced together from components pulled from a dozen other machines. Looks like a lot of the octopus, only smaller. The display has been pulled from a Fuji model designed to export into the UCAS with a chrome bezel and a red LED accent lights. The keyboard is a mechanic relic with round, heavy keys that appear to have been salvaged from a typewriter. Judging by the Pashto characters emblazoned on the keys, it's probably of Pakistani make. The case is a heavy modified Renaku blah blah blah. Isabel stares at the monstrosity, her jaw hanging open. That might just be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Grab it. Then, but hurry, you need to keep moving. Isabel grabs the cyberdeck in both hands and heaves. It doesn't budge. On the other side of the room, the decker jolts back to life. He turns to face Isabel, his emotions strangely languid. Excuse me, that deck is mine. His tone is calm, conversational. It's also mag-locked to the surface of my desk. Now stop touching it, please, or I'll be forced to call security. I heard that you had the most impressive cyberdeck at the show. I had to see it for myself. That's true, I do. That doesn't give you a right to break into my room and fondle it, though. Now, you wanna tell me what a caterer cares about custom hardware? Say I don't care about the hardware, but there's plenty of deckers here who do. I am not a caterer, I'm an attendee. I spilled something on my clothes. This was the only thing that the hotel had in my size. Keep talking. He doesn't sound convinced. Yeah, you know how clumsy these servers can be. Frankly, I'm embarrassed to dress like one. He sighs, rubs the bridge of his nose. Look, you're a really terrible liar, and I was having a good time before you tried to jack my deck. So I'm gonna give you a choice. You can tell me what you want. You can back on up out of here, or I can call security. Neither of us wants me to do number 3. She doesn't wait for a response. Your deck. It's a beautiful piece of workmanship, and I want it. Maybe I could buy it off of you. She's not for sale. Tell you what, though. I could be convinced to let you crack the case open and take a look inside. He stifles a yawn. Maybe you could learn a thing or two. Alright, Isabel. Thank the man, look at the box, and get the hell out of there. To hell with that, put your gun and make him turn off the maglock. He's got to have what? To have a key. Politely decline and walk away. We've wasted no. What does? Hey man, thanks. Really appreciate it. I always love looking at custom builds. No problem. There's a case release hatch under the parallel port. Give her once over. Take notes if you want. When you're finished, be sure to close the door behind you. Isabel cracks the case on the deck, lifting it high. She studies the innards of the device intently, her eyes flitting from connection to connection, from card to card. This is some generally impressive work. A few minutes later, she snaps the case back shut. Thank you, Kordanor. In a day full of unpleasant surprises, this was a really nice one. Hey, that's great. Now hurry up. We still need to get to Rhombus. Added pay data prototype deck info. Okay. This way to the suites. Whatever. Na dann. Keep Isabel alive. Das ist locked. Da kann man nicht durch. Open door. Hallo Rhombus. As you burst through the door, you find yourself standing face to face with a small, heavily tattooed man. Geometric shapes of all descriptions trace their way away from his temples, down his cheeks, and neck to his shoulders. His eyes continue the motif. Each of his incisors is a slanted rectangle. Rhombus looks at Isabel and sighs. If he's surprised to see her, he doesn't show it. You finally want him back, huh? The memories that we locked away. I always knew that you would one day, but you got too hostile after the procedure. I didn't think you'd come around this soon. Isabel glowers at him, her cheeks darkening. Oh, get bent, Rhombus. I got hostile with you because you got hostile with me. Like hell I did. I tried to give you some advice as a friend. If memory serves, you called me a patronizing bastard and select my deck. Was I just supposed to take that without punching back? Well, Isabel, you select this. From what she tells me, you were... Hang on a sec. Isabel cuts in, her normally small voice growing raucous. I called you a patronizing bastard because that's what you were being. You wouldn't have taken that tone if I were a guy or an orc or a troll. You talked down to me like I was your little sister or something. Well, guess what? I'm not. Well, hold up. I talked that way to you because... She shouts over him, cutting him short. Also, punch back? That's a funny way of putting it. You tailored an ESP to troll all of my posts on a Shadowland. What kind of prick would do a thing like that? His face goes beet red and his chest puffs out. The kind whose cat you had killed, you little monster. Captain Whiskers was just a house cat. He didn't have anything to do with this. She rears back in this indignation. That wasn't me. I would never hurt a cat. If I were going to have someone killed, it would have been you. Pipe down, both of you. We are going to hash this out together. You two sound like a bickering teenagers. Actually, check that. You are bickering teenagers. You are the muscle. I take it. You and your friend and this really impressive drone. Thank you. Koshai scuttles forward menacingly. It claws weaving in the air. Rector smiles. His voice goes up an octave and he points a trembling finger at Isabel. She brought you along to beat the information out of me, didn't she? Beat isn't the word that I'd use. Koshel is better equipped for ripping and tearing. He gives the Wampuyan an encouraging nod. A good thought, though. You have a firm grasp of the situation. Rhombus swallows hard. He opens his mouth to speak, but no words come out. His eyes are locked on the drone that's slowly scuttling towards him. Yeah, that's right. I'm the muscle, so shut your mouth until I tell you to speak, or you're gonna have a problem. Got it? I'm just a man with a job, and Isabel tells me that you have something that can help me do it. I can't believe that this is happening to me, all over me, trying to do you a favor. He shakes his head at Isabel. That'll teach me to try to give a friend some advice, I guess. Hint him. If you're gonna keep whining like that, I'll give you something to whine about. That's the second time you said it. This whole fight started over your trying... You're trying to give Isabel advice? Ooh boo hoo! Your unsolicited advice wasn't appreciated. I cry you a river. What does? Your fist smashes into Rhombus' nose, flattening it. He reels back, clutching his wounded face. After a few seconds, he rocks back forward. He starts screaming. Help! Security! Somebody help! They can't hear you, Room. You know why? Because we killed them. Now give my goddamn key. Rhombus doesn't respond, other than increase the pitch of his screaming. He looks like he's on the verge of hyperventilating. She glances back at you. To hell with this. Let's hit him like a piñata until software comes out. Sounds like a plan? I don't think that any of this is even necessary. You're both behaving like children. She blinks. What? I don't have the time to work out your personal problems, Rhombus. Please give Isabel the software so we can be on our way. He keys in a series of rapid commands in his PDA, then turns to Isabel, sobbing. There, just check your inbox. You have it. Now, for the sake of whatever friendship we might have had, please let me go. Isabel examines her PDA, frowning. A few seconds later, the frown turns into a smile. She nods at you. He wasn't lying. I've got the encryption key. Let's stuff him in a closet and go home. Encryption key? I thought you said he had software that you needed. Technically, I have it. She taps her temple. Up there, in hardware storage, but I can't access it without the key. And thanks to Rhombus here, now I've got it. Isabel, what was this really about? Recovering my old memories, the ones about the walled city. I still have them, but I can't get at them. Rhombus did that after I moved here. At your request, you little psycho, you begged me to do it. That's actually true. We were friends then. She looks down at Rhombus, who lies whimpering on the floor. Now we're not, and that's why you're getting stuffed in a closet. You set upon a grim task of shoving a protesting Rhombus into his own room closet and latching the door. You managed to get him inside without having to break any bones. You probably have bruises tomorrow, though. Come on, Kordanor. We got what we came for. Let's go home. Suddenly an explosion of sounds fills your ears. Heavy footfalls advancing down the hall. You hear shouting, the crackle of radios, the HKPM, MPF, whatever. Oh, that son of a bitch. Rum must have called the cops. He's probably got a panic button or something. He casts a hateful glare at the closed door, then a closet door, then draws a silver gun. Get ready, Kordanor. We've got company. Na gut, dann schießen wir sie halt alle tot. Ja. Gut. Oh. Bratsch. Ist nicht optimal. Okay, der kann das. Und ist auch nicht optimal. Gehen wir da hin und dann macht der nächste Runde erst. Verfehlt. Nehmen wir erstmal das Ding. Ordentlich. 22, 12. Schießen wir da mal drauf. Ja, passt. Da können wir halt nicht kritten, aber... Die treffen noch kein Stück. Oh, das hat gesessen. Out of Ammo, dann nehmen wir jetzt die andere. Heilen können wir nicht, brauchen wir aber auch eigentlich nicht. Aber sauber. Dann gehen wir mal wieder. Jawohl. Zurück nach Heoi. In den Ladebildschirm. Wenn es jetzt auch noch laden würde. Ja. The bus trip back to Kai-Tak is quieter than the ride-in was. Your fellow passengers sit crumpled in their seats, barely moving, barely speaking. The DeckCon 2056 t-shirts hang loose on their frames, and their once cherished guest badges have been crumpled into their pockets. You've seen more lively groups in their way to the morgue. Isabel looks up at you, her eyes full of the same post-con fatigue that you see in everyone else's. She gives you a small smile and taps her temple with a fingernail. You've got what you came for. The show is over, it's time to go home. Na gut. Continue. Tja. Ich will den Regen sehen. Game autosaved. Ja, schön. Ich hoffe mal, dass es jetzt weitergeht von den Missionen her, also von der Hauptstory. Karma Gate gained 8. Go to the Emperor's Tomb, bla 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 bla. Oh, wir haben aber auch ein Level Loop. Spiritualist. Augment, summon Shrine Spirits. Shrine Spirits summoned by Goblet are now present for additional turn before dispelling themselves for a total of 3 rounds. Nehmen wir das. Napalm, igniting targets and wire. Okay, was ist das? Dual routine boost program which increases persona speed while sneaking in Matrix by 40%. Nehmen wir das. Nail Grenade. Und das ist Modded Flashbang. Nehmen wir das. Coup de Grace. Plus 100 damage, but only can attack stunned targets. Das klingt gut. Overclock. 2 AP und... Ja, das ist auch gut. Okay. Habe ich irgendwen vergessen? Wieder das hier ausgewählt. Okay. Dann gehen wir mal nach Hause, holen das Geld, werden einmal pennen. Aha. You enter the trawler to find your crew gathered together, waiting for you. Isabel has her head buried in her PDA. The rest of them stand watching her, trying to be patient. Did someone call the crew meeting? I told you, I am the one who gets to call crew meetings. What's going on? Isabel places up a bag, trying to decide how to begin. I have been doing my homework on Josephine Tsang and Tsang Mechanical Services. You're pacing, so that tells me you found something. Oh yeah, I found something, alright. Isabel lifts the PDA to her face and consults the notes. In 2011, Tsang Medical Services was a D-level corp foundering in the shallow end of the Hong Kong corporate pool. That's when Josephine Chui married into the family. Josephine thought big. She conceived of a massive project that would catapult TMS into the big time. Something she called the Prosperity Project. Prosperity? That's what Raymond was mumbling about. What does any of this have to do with Raymond? It was nothing whatsoever to do with Raymond Black. It has everything to do with Edward Tsang. Edward Tsang? That's your foster father's real name. Duncan's jaw drops open. What the hell? Raymond Black is actually Edward Tsang, the only son of Josephine Tsang and her late husband Blackwater Tsang. So our secret foster grandmother is trying to kill us? It looks that way, yeah. Rector chuckled softly to himself. Secret grandmother? What the hell is going on, Isabel? Start from the beginning. Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, in the 1900s, the walled city was a densely populated slum. Something like 30,000 people crammed into 6.5 acres. Wait, I've heard this story before. It's a shithole, hell on earth, yada yada yada. That's today's walled city, the second walled city. The first walled city started life well over 100 years ago. 1000 wäre vielleicht ein bisschen viel. And lasted through both world wars and almost through the Awakening. It was torn down in 1994 when the government had finally had enough. It had become such a haven for criminals that the cops would only enter it in large, well-armed groups. Sounds familiar. In 2021, Josephine Tsang proposed a vision for a new type of low-income housing project, the Prosperity Project, a self-contained, low-cost walking neighborhood for the poor, but on a grand scale. The Prosperity Project would give Hong Kong's poor and the flood of refugees pouring into the country a place they could call their home, something that felt more permanent than the sprawling tent city that spontaneously sprang up after the first walled city was demolished. Oh god, a visionary. She got the hand scale right. It's a giant hellhole. That doesn't sound like the walled city I've been to. Isabel's response is flat as a board. No kidding. The Prosperity Project would replace the tent city and would be symbolically built on the site of the old walled city. The slogan was, a place of dignity where prosperity begins. And ends, apparently. The apartments weren't much bigger than the space you'd get in your average coffin motel, but they were built around plazas and marketplaces that contained goods and services catering to the poor, like drug dealers and prostitutes. This sounds just like the first walled city. The government forgot the lessons of the last walled city. They loved the idea of containing the refugees and the poor to only a few densely populated blocks. It kept them out of the public eye. Kept the tourists happy too. Isabel gives Gobbet a flat "shut up" expression. Gobbet smirks in reply. Securing the walled city job was the first step toward Tsang becoming what it is today. Toward putting Josephine Tsang on the executive council. One slum made her rich? It wasn't the slum that made her rich. From what I've heard, the walled city job was a disaster. By all accounts, the Prosperity Project should have landed her on the poorhouse. That wasn't what happened, though. After the walled city went up, TMS landed contract after contract, huge lucrative ones. Nobody knows why, and those were the jobs that propelled TMS into the big time. So where's Raymond come into all of this? Not Raymond, Edward. Edward Tsang was in charge of laying the groundwork for the walled city, excavation and utilities, running in power lines, sewage, that kind of thing. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Remember that massive grey water leak that flooded the basement back in 48? When we got back from that camping trip in the Salish, we screamed bloody murder about that. Yeah, remember what happened to Miss Melanie. What about it? Ray didn't know the first thing about sewer lines. He hired a small army plumbers, probably paid them double what the job was worth to fix the thing, and it still took almost 2 months to get the leak under control, and Josephine put him in charge of the utilities. No wonder the walled city smells like that. So if this man was not in charge of the utilities for the project, what was he doing down there? I don't know, but Edward Tsang disappeared from the public eye shortly after Prosperity was completed, around 2031. That's about the time he moved to Seattle, around 7 years before he found us. But what happened in the walled city? And what would make Raymond want to go back in there now after all these years? I don't know, but I intend to find out. That's a question for later. For now, let's make some money. Doesn't matter. What matters is payback. I don't know, but I intend to find out. Aha. Naja. Aber keine weitere Story. Out of town. Currently Cheng. I'm not in Heoi right now, so don't bother coming see me. We'll talk when I return. Please continue with our business ventures in the meantime. Okay, müssen wir noch eine Mission machen. I hope you're enjoying your newfound success in the shadows. I've got another job for you, one that should prove very lucrative indeed. I've been contacting an employee of the Eastern Tiger Corporation, and he needs you to steal some research data and biological samples from his employer. The man's name is Tigarth Wright, and recently he was a researcher on a genetic engineering project. He was cagey with the details, but I gather that it catered around phenotypic alteration and postnatal genetic enhancement. Unfortunately for Wright, he's got his conscience, stupid man. Luckily for us, he's willing to pay to have his conscience assuaged, was auch immer das für ein Wort war. Wright project was apparently quite horrible. Experiments on living children, total disregard for biomedical ethics or safety. And when Wright raised concerns, he was taken off the project. He's decided to step outside the bounds of the law and expose their wrongdoing to the world. The snag, you see, is that his wife and child live in Seoul, not quite the heart of Eastern Tiger's power, but close enough. He's afraid that if he releases the information himself, they'll be taken prisoner and used as leverage. The idiot should have thought of that before, but that's not our problem. The samples and data are currently on an Eastern Tiger cargo ship, the MV Nalchi, sailing near Hong Kong on their way to Seoul. The storms slowed the ship down, so you don't have to go right away, but don't take too long. Once you have the data and samples, you are to call Wright. I've attached this number. He'll give you instructions on how he wants information leaked. When you're ready, let me know. I arranged transit with Captain Jomo. He's a local Loho Jova pirate and smuggler, but don't let that put you off. He's as good as they get, and he'll have you on that ship without incident. Take the run. I've let Captain Jomo know you're ready. You can find him down on the end of the pier. My parlor's on. He'll handle everything from there on out. Bla bla. Old message? Ne, das wollen wir nicht. Ich will nicht old messages. Go back. Jobs Directory. Ach, das war ja gar kein Job, den wir gemacht haben. Post Pay Data. Claim. Bla, bla. Go weg. Walk away. Ja, das mit der Sniper Rifle war nicht so eine gute Idee. Da hätte ich stattdessen besser ein Maschinengewehr gekauft. Aber nur ist auch zu spät. Get some rest. Dann machen wir Get some rest. Dann reden wir nochmal mit allen und dann gehen wir die nächste Mission an. You awaken from a blank, featureless sleep, sweat-soaked and starving. You feel uneasy, but you can't say why. Groggily, you have yourself out of bed. Heave? Whatever. So. Hallo. Bla 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 bla. Oh, das war kurz. Magst du nochmal reden? Nö. Okay, umso besser. Wieder hoch. Mit der müssen wir mal etwas länger reden wahrscheinlich. You haven't unlocked your old memories yet? No, not yet. I mean, I can. I'd be as simple as plugging myself into tapping a key. My old memories are all mine if I want them. So what's be waiting for? Go ahead and do it. That's easy for you to say. I know that I have to do this, but it isn't going to be pleasant. Imagine knowing what you had to jam a needle in your eye. How much of a hurry would you be in to do it? Point taken, take your time. These are your memories after all. I knew that it had to happen. I'd want to get it over with quick. How very stalwart of you. For my part, I'm in no hurry to experience pain, and I have every reason to believe that it is going to hurt. It isn't easy, you know, shifting organic memories into headwear storage, wiping the originals and locking them away for safekeeping. That's corporate level mind sculpting, serious business. So, the process was difficult, but does that matter? Locking the files away was important to you, I got that. So I let Rhombus do this to me, all by himself, in a dirty corner of a derelict shopping mall. You know what that tells me? That I was desperate to get rid of whatever baggage he stored up there. Tell me, Isabel, would it have been easier for you to have Rhombus just wipe the memories altogether? None of this changes the fact that we just risked our lives to get you that key. No, it doesn't, and I'm grateful, she sighs. Look, I'm going to do this. I have to. For the good of the team. I know that there could be something locked away in the storage that could help us. That's why I suggested the run in the first place. I'm just dragging my feet a little because I'm afraid. Memories are just memories. What's happening in the walled city, whatever it is, that's what you should be afraid of. You're right, I know that. I knew it before we went to get the code. I just needed to talk through it with someone, not Gobbet, someone who could take the situation seriously. I need to talk to you with you. Well, not yet have your pep talk, let's get this show on the road. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Without another word, she pulls a cable from a pile on the floor and slots it into a data jack. The other end disappears into one of the octopus' many brains. Her fingers fly across the octopus keyboard, rattling off a series of audible clicks. Finally, her thumb hovers over the execute key. Alright, Kordanor, wish me luck. The key depresses with an audible click. Isabel's eyes flutter and her cheeks flush with blood. No. She starts shaking her head from side to side. Wringing hands. A progress bar on the octopus auxiliary monitor slowly climbs. Oh, fuck. What's happening, Isabel? Are you okay? The progress bar climbs to 100. Isabel snatches the cable back to the data jack and covers her eyes with her hands. She's shivering. She clutches her temples in the palms of her hands. Now I remember why I didn't want these anymore. Bad stuff, huh? Are you alright? No, I'm not alright. I'm the opposite of alright. She clutches at her skull like she's afraid it's going to crack open. There's a lot of bad stuff in here. Things that happened to friends of mine, to relatives, things that I watched happen. No. It's okay, Isabel. Breathe. They're just memories. They can't hurt you. Yes, they can. Her voice is raw. These memories are crystal clear. It's like all of this shit happened yesterday. I can remember watching friends die, and I can see their screaming faces just as clearly as I did the day that it happened. It's like watching a Twitch show, but it's my life, and it's real. Isabel, focus. Is there anything that in there that can help us. She screws her eyes shut in concentration. Beads of sweat hang heavy on her brow. I think so, yes. It'll take some time for me to sift through all of this. She opens her eyes again, looks up at you. I'll hold onto these memories for as long as I can, hopefully long enough to reveal something useful. No promises beyond that, though. Thank you, Sibel. Don't thank me yet. I could still crack in a half hour and lock away the files. She gives you a weak half smile. Gonna do my best not to, though. One thing that does jump out at me, Rambus achieved some software up here. She taps her temple with a fingernail. It's sitting on top of the memories, all wrapped up like a present. Don't know why he did it, but it looks like a combat package. Combat package, you say? She nods weakly. Some sort of basic attack modification. I'll have to study it to be sure, but I think that I can use it. That's some good news. Yeah, it's all very exciting, but for now, just give me some space, okay? She turns away, shivering. Like I said, it's gonna take time for me to make sense of this stuff. Alright, I'll check back later with you. I'll check back with you later. She waves you away. Good, go, now. Dann holen wir hier wieder unsere Lesson ab mit bla 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 bla. Saucepan. It looks delicious. I'm ready for my next lesson. Blah 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 blah. Maybe we should go check it out. The sinking ship isn't far, is it? Okay, dann müssen wir noch nach unten. Achso, und das Board müssen wir auch noch gucken. Blüb, 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 blüb. Alter Falter. Okay, wir haben keine Objectives oder so bekommen, also war offensichtlich auch nichts Wichtiges dabei. Bla bla. Unbedingt. Look at me, Code. I have a shred of essence left in me, and only barely that, but I suffer none of the ill effects associated with traumatic essence loss. Mhm. We'll talk tomorrow. Unbedingt. Bla 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 bla. Bla bla bla. What do you mean? Ja, ich möchte noch mehr mit dir reden. Okay. Genug gelabert. Dann müssen wir durch die Stadt latschen. Oha. Mysterious Elf. Reden wir erstmal mit dem. You in? Bla bla bla. Bla 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 bla. Hervorragend. Und jetzt? Haben wir irgendwas bekommen? Keine Ahnung. Vielleicht haben wir am Computer was bekommen. Was bist du denn für einer? Ah, Mysterious Elf. Der ist aus einem anderen Spiel. Oder zumindest das Porträt das gleiche. See you later. Alien John. Okay. Dann wollen wir die wieder belästigen. Haben wir schon mal gehabt. Karma gained 1. Durch Gelaber. Ja. Okay, da unten, das ist der für die Mission. Mal gucken, ob man da jetzt irgendwas machen kann, jetzt wo die weg ist. Ne, genau, nischt. Gehen wir nochmal zum Computer, wo wir jetzt von der einen Tante vielleicht einen Brief bekommen haben. Ja. Mother's Notes. Wir haben eine neue Nachricht. Können Sie aber nicht lesen. Dann halt nicht. Vielleicht jetzt? Nö. Ardent Phoenix. Ja, ja, schön. Keep safe. Tschüss. Hallo. bla, nächster. Okay. Nothing, nothing. Wir sind noch bei 1000. Dann, was? As you pass in front of the walled city, something takes hold of your chest and squeezes an internal pang, like a panic attack, but worse. You feel your chest compress, and for a second the world turns to liquid. It takes all the effort you can muster to keep from falling over. A strobing patchwork of images flashes before your eyes, fragments of dream and sense memory all stitched together, playing on a loop in your head. Walled city residents kneeling, the churning sound of grinding gears, a leaning building, soiled streets, used needles on a sidewalk. The images come faster and faster, teeth, thousands and thousands of teeth, the Redmond Barons and the first man you ever saw killed. A crown of ivory over a shimmering veil, Duncan at age 10, his legs pumping, running for his life from a pack of Halloweeners. Strange anatomy that doesn't make sense to your logical mind. A door, a heavy industrial door, something written out in a faded yellow paint, but you can't make it out. And just like that, the slideshow ends. The images fade to nothing, returning you to the Heoi streets. The outermost facade of the walled city towers over you. Huge and oppressive, a group of kindly Cheng Blues lanterns pass you by, oblivious to the event that you just took place in your head. Try to walk it off. You take a step forward, then another. You still feel woozy, but you don't need to take a knee. The event, whatever it was, is over. Your mind is your own. Okay. Gehen wir noch zu dem hier. Klicken uns da durch. Und bauen uns vielleicht noch irgendwas ein. Küberware. Brain. Processor boosts users knowledge based passive one intelligence. Okay, da kann man Waffen reinbauen, theoretisch. Leg. Die kosten etwas viel. Wie viel Essenz haben wir denn noch? 4. Skin. Eins Armor. Passiv 1 Charisma. 2000. Regenerates 6 HP per round. Aha. Das klingt ordentlich. Aber da bräuchte man mehr Geld für. Na gut, dann gehen wir hier unten hin und werden da beim nächsten Mal diese Bootsmission machen. War das nicht hier? Na, anscheinend war es da. Und dann sage ich mal, ciao und bis zum nächsten Mal. Bis dann.